is Singple。欢迎来到简单歌唱 Singple， 我是歌唱学师 Ariana。今天我们邀请到一个很厉害的唱歌大师来到我们的频道，分享他教课超过30年的唱歌秘诀 ，AKA 高手都不告诉你的秘密。他曾经培养过很多厉害的歌手，像是 Ariana Grande、Britney Spears、natalie portman， 还有许多百老汇的歌手。那我们现在就邀请我们的大师 Bob Marks 来和大家 say hello 吧。
Hello. Great to meet you.
OK， 我们现在邀请到我们的 Bob Marks， 那我们今天的这个主题就是让他来和我们说明7个主要唱歌的重点。那待会呢，他会给我们很多这个秘诀，所以准备好你的笔记，我们现在就来开始吧。Okay, so the first question, can you tell us about your singing journey? Like what made you start teaching singing?
Yes. I started playing the piano when I was about 5 years old.
Okay.
I apparently had a very good musical ear, and my grandmother heard me playing on a toy piano and got me lessons. Fast forward till I was 14, I was able to get a job as a musical director of a show in my local community theater, mostly high school students. And they must have liked me because people that saw the show gave me jobs in other theaters and other community theaters. And I found that I enjoyed working with the singers. That was something that I really liked doing. They came to me because they needed help preparing for college auditions, for show auditions, for choir auditions, whatever they needed help, I was there. And I worked very cheaply. Because again, I was 14, 15 years old living at home.
Yeah.
I didn't have to charge a lot of money. And then I went to a voice teacher with my sister. My sister wanted voice lessons. I was 16 years old. And the voice teacher asked me what I did. And I told her that I worked with singers and helped them with their voices and helped them find music and played the piano for them. She said, "Oh, you're a vocal coach." I said, "I am?" I didn't know what a vocal coach was. I didn't know that it existed. And she said, "Yes." I said, "Okay." So then I started calling myself a vocal coach, made business cards. I would
When
rent
you were 16, right?
16.
Wow,
And I rented space in different studios in New York, and I really loved what I did. Got jobs doing theater, and one of the good jobs was as associate conductor of the Muni Opera in St. Louis. That's the St. Louis Municipal Opera. 12,000 seats, huge theater, outdoor theater, 50-piece orchestra. I conducted one of the shows there, played piano for things, and then I got a job back in New York playing the piano for the show Annie. You know Annie, the sun will come out tomorrow, that Annie. That got me started working with young singers. I always thought I was just going to work with grown-ups. But the Annie children, the ones who played in the show, and the people that were auditioning for the show all needed help. So I was there. And that's how I got to meet a young Ariana Grande, a young Britney Spears, a young Natalie Portman, a young Lea Michele, the singers that came along later because they needed help. And most voice teachers would not work with young people. Back then it was old lady opera singers, and they said they wouldn't work with children who didn't get to puberty yet, and they would only work with classical music, and they couldn't belt, and they were very, very set in their ways. And of course, I wasn't. I was 22 years old when I opened my office in New York. And I've been there over 40 years. So, I now work with the children of some of the children I taught, and even one grandchild of a child I taught. So it's wonderful, and I just appreciate all the students because they say if you become a teacher by your students, you'll be taught. And I learned so much by working with them. And then finally, I decided I had to write a book. I had to write down everything that I've learned, everything that I teach, so that people have a reference and people that can't get to see me in New York can read about it. And so I published my book last year, and it's been very well received and very well reviewed. And I'm just very, very happy with the path my career took.
Wow, that's cool. How old were they when you were teaching little Ariana Grande and Britney Spears?
Well, Ariana, I met because I was teaching her brother, Frankie Grande, and he then opened in the show Mamma Mia on Broadway. And I went to his opening night, and at his party, I met his younger sister, Ariana. And we got along well, and her mother wanted her to take voice lessons, and so I started working with her. She was probably 9 or 10.
Wow, so young.
Very young. Well, Leah Michelle was very young, too. If you go to my website, bobmarks.com, you'll see pictures of some of these people before they became famous. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah. So is it difficult to teach young singers? I mean, young singers are more difficult to teach, or more grown up, like in their 20s or 30s or even 40s, or older singers?
Young singers, and I pretty much treat everybody the same. I treat young singers like they're little grown-ups. I teach grown-ups like they're kids. I just treat everybody with respect. And I love the fact that young singers are not afraid to try different things. They're not set in their ways. They will try different parts of their voice, different musical styles. It's a challenge because they can't sing songs that are about experience. They have to sing songs more about being happy, or about singing, or about, I'm so glad it's today. Little songs like that, or the sun will come out tomorrow. So young singers have a very wonderful energy that gets channeled in. The main thing is we want them to be real. We don't want them to be cutesy and be just the cute little child. We want them to be a real person with feelings.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so the second question is, do you think singing lessons are just for talented singers or regular people? Because you've taught many lessons, like a couple thousands, right?
I have, at this point, I started keeping track in 1980. So for the past 41 years, I've taught about 96,000 lessons.
Wow.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I remember when it hit 60,000, I'm like, oh my God, 60,000. And now I'm ready to, this year we'll probably get to 100,000. I think if you like to sing and you like to make music and you like performing, or you just want to express yourself, if you enjoy it, why not do it? Is golf only for people that can make money at golf? I don't think so. People like to play golf. They like to do sports. They like to read books. Not everything has to be a job. And maybe they're not talented enough to make money at it, but they still love it. They love to sing. So why not sing? If you're very lucky, you can make money at what you love. But it's still wonderful to do something because you love it, because it's something that you feel from the heart, and there's no reason not to do it. So it's a lot less pressure when they're not trying to make a living at it. When they don't have to get themselves ready for a performance or ready for an audition, it's wonderful because they can sing songs they like, songs they enjoy, and songs that express their feelings.
Yes. So you think singing is a skill, it's not a talent, like you're born with that?
Well, you can be born with a talent for anything. That doesn't mean it can't be helped by lessons. It's a challenge when you don't have a natural musicality to you and you can't hear the pitches. Then it becomes a big challenge. But people have talents in a lot of different things. I mean, if you want to play basketball, it helps if you're 7 feet tall. But not everybody is 7 feet tall.
Right.
So you just have to try a little harder, work on the technique, and do what you love. So I don't audition singers. I just try to make them as good as they can be.
That's great. You're a great teacher.
Oh, well, thank you.
Really great.
I mean, it's very easy to teach the people that are incredibly talented.
Yes.
It's a little harder to get people that are, doing it because of love, to get them to do it. But that's the challenge, and that's the great thing about what I do. It changes. Every lesson is different. I get a lot of enjoyment out of making somebody who is not naturally gifted to make them sound like they're naturally gifted. That's very nice too. But whatever comes my way, I take it as a challenge. And you know, people can always get better. I mean, for example, I don't have a very pleasant singing voice. It's a little nasal. It's a little me. I don't think anybody would pay me to sing. But the thing is, I sing on key. I sing the right notes, and so I can demonstrate things for my singers. But I wouldn't want them to copy me.
Right.
I think the reason I've lasted so long doing this is because I never wanted to be a performer. I always wanted to be a musician and a teacher and a coach. So I was always doing the teaching part, never wanted to be on stage.
Okay, so the next question is, what inspired you to write your first book, Bob Marks 88 Keys to Singing to Successful Singing Performances?
Well, while I was playing the piano for auditions, and I played piano for lots of auditions, accompanying the singers, I saw there were so many things that singers were doing wrong. Just the way they presented the music, or how they talked to the pianist, or how they marked the musical cuts, where they start, where they stop, the tempo changes, the keys. I found there were so many things that could be easily fixed. So I've been kind of thinking about writing this book for decades. And finally I met this woman, Elizabeth Gerby. She's now Dr. Elizabeth Gerby. And she wrote emails to me because she was a college professor. And I liked the way she wrote. I liked the way she thought. I think she wrote like I talk. And she suggested, why don't we write a book together? Okay. And the book took 7 years to write. Not 7 years every day, but it took a long time because 88 keys are a lot of keys. And what I did, I wanted to make each chapter short enough that people could absorb each key, because it's not a very large book, it's 285 pages, but it's got 88 different chapters, and telling you about lyrics, interpretation, where to look, what to do with your hands, how to keep your voice healthy. I try to cover all the bases.
Yeah. And why 88? Is it because there's 88 keys on the piano?
Yep, that's exactly why. I mean, I could say 10 commandments of singing, but 10 is not enough. Right. And I could say 1,000, but that's too long. I don't have 1,000 things. So 88 sounded good. 88 keys, because a piano has 88 keys. So it's good. And it flows off the tongue. 88.
Yeah. So I was always wondering why 88 when I'm reading this book, and then I saw a piano on the cover of the book.
That's why there's a piano on the cover. Yes.
That's cool. That's real cool. Yeah, it's well-designed name.
It's funny, some of the early artwork that the publisher gave me for the cover had pianos, like all over, big piano, pictures of pianos, and this. I said, this is not a book about pianos. It just happens to be the number of keys. So then when she did the little floaty keyboard, I said, oh, that's nice. I like that.
Cool.
Also, there are some books that were very valuable to me. There was a voice teacher named David Craig, really a vocal coach, a teaching coach, David Craig. And he's passed away now, but he wrote 3 books.
Wow.
And one of them, called On Singing on Stage, really made a big difference in my teaching. I realized how much I had to learn and how much I knew I was doing right. And then I sat in when he came to New York and he taught classes. He let me sit in on the classes. We became very good friends, and it made a difference. Made me want to write a book too.
Yes. That's inspiring. If you make friends like that, and especially he published 3 books.
Yep.
You want to keep up?
No, I can't.
Yeah.
I struggle. You know, you're writing and there's a blank screen, and I struggle with every word and you know, making the sentence right, and where's the comma go, and I want to use the exact right words.
Yes.
So it's tricky. And then I had the idea that I had a lot of students that had done Broadway shows, and they did a lot of auditions. So sprinkled through the book are stories, we call them anecdotes, stories of performers and what they went through at auditions.
Yes.
You know, and they were kind enough to give me their stories, which was very nice also. I tell people all the time, because people are always saying, I need a certain kind of song for this audition. And I say, they don't hire the song, they hire the person. Yes. I've never seen anybody get a job just because they chose a certain song.
No.
And my old friend Peggy Brennan has a story in the book. She went to audition for Grease, but she didn't know anything about Grease. It was the Broadway show.
Yes.
And she didn't have a song from the 50s. So she sang a song from the 1920s or 30s, something very sweet. And you know what? They called her back. And for the callback, she learned a song from the 50s, and she did the Broadway show. Wow. So you never know.
Because you say you have taught Broadway singers. So over the years, you have helped plenty of singers win their auditions. What is your number one secret to making one stand out?
I don't know if there's one secret, and I don't know that it's a secret. I will tell you my favorite saying, and I don't know how you're going to translate that to Chinese, is failing to prepare is preparing to fail. The more preparation you do, the more comfortable you can be. The problem is some people think that it will be easy when they get in the room. And when they get in the room, they're very, very nervous because they have strangers watching them. They have a strange person at the piano, and they don't know what they're going to hear. And they have a lot on the line because they're auditioning for a show. So the more they prepare, the more they can do it in their sleep, that they can just sing the song a cappella if they have to. Know all the words where they don't have to think about the words. But as far as the performance, I think that knowing who you're singing to, what you're singing about, what just happened to make you feel the way you feel, will really go a long way. Because when you're in the room, if you can be singing to somebody, let's say you're singing a song to your mother, then your mother's there with you in your head. You know, you can pretend that your mother's there, so you're not alone. You're not just singing to the wall.
Yeah.
And so you want to make it as real as possible. I think real is the key word. But again, it's not a secret. That's what acting is, right?
Yes.
Trying to be real under imaginary circumstances is acting. So, but we want to do that when we sing, because singing is even less real than acting. The pitches, the notes, how long you hold them, what key you're in, what your voice is doing, those are things that you have no control over. Right. So you can control your emotions and what you're thinking and what you're feeling and who you're pretending to talk to.
I love it so much.
Well, because it changes the way the song comes out.
Yes.
You know, because the more real you can make your imaginary partner, the more real your song will be. So if you sing to somebody and they start crying, your singing is going to be different. I mean, they're only crying in your head. Yes. If you say something to them and in your imagination they walk away, you'll be very different. It's kind of like a game of tennis. What you do, the way you hit the ball, depends on how your opponent hits the ball. So it's a back and forth thing.
Yeah. So it's not about the lyrics, because a lot of my students and a lot of people, they always think about the lyrics. They're not thinking about who they want to sing to. Right?
Well, that's called the subtext. They have to think not only about the text, the words, but what they mean, what just happened to make them say that.
Yes.
For example, you take a song like If I Loved You. Beautiful song from the Broadway show Carousel. Before you say If I Loved You, why are you saying that? What are you trying to impart? Are you trying to say you do love me, you don't? if you loved me and I loved you, well, then we could do this and that. You have to know all that.
Yes.
Because you want it to, the main thing is you want to make it look like you're making the song up for the first time. It's brand new thoughts. Never thought of that before.
Yeah. And that's the key. That's the key. I found on your book. That's
one of the keys.
Yeah.
One of
I love that the most.
87 keys to go.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so the next question. One of our audience's biggest problems when it comes to singing is that they try so hard to make people feel something, just like professional vocalists, but oftentimes they always get negative feedback. Do you have any courses or resources or like, products to help them solve this problem?
So how do they try?
They just think of they are trying to make them feel something.
Well, you know
what I mean?
Yeah, well, I think I do. You don't want to look like you're trying. You want it to look like you're feeling something. You're not going to make an audience cry by crying.
Yeah.
You have to make an audience cry by what you're saying, how you're saying it, and your body language, the expression on your face, the sound of your voice, everything comes together.
Yes.
So I don't think I would give somebody negative feedback because they tried to make me feel something, but I really want to watch them feel something.
Okay.
I want to see them feel it. Then if I find it funny or find it sad or find it serious, then I will feel it too. But, I don't want people to tell me what to do. I don't even like clapping along, when you do a song and they say, everybody clap your hands. I go, you clap your hands. I don't need to be part of your show. I want to watch your show. And that's what it is. Also for auditions, they don't want to be part of your audition. They want to watch you. So I think that's important too.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people never thought about this, and this will be really, really helpful.
Well, I'm very, very flattered that you contacted me, and sorry we couldn't meet in person, but at least we're meeting face to face.
Yes.
Virtually.
Yeah.
Virtually.
Thank you.
And if people will go to my website, which is bobmarks.com, BOBMARKS, I have Bob Marks. I'm on Facebook as Bob Marks, and Twitter as Bob Marks, and Instagram as Bob Marks.
Okay.
So, and if anybody has any questions, they can send me a message, they can send me an email, they can do whatever they need to do. I'm easy to get in touch with.
You still teaching voice lessons right now?
Of course, on Zoom.
Okay. So if anyone wants to take lessons with you, they just go to your website?
Just send me an email, give me as much information as you can.
Okay.
I usually like to make the first appointment, I like to talk to people on the phone first. But of course, if you're calling from China, that's going to be an expensive phone call. So we can maybe set up a little Zoom meeting so we can just get to know each other a little bit.
Yes.
And we'll set up a time, trying to take the time change into account.
Okay.
And we'll make it work. I guess China is several, like 6-7 hours later than us, right?
13 hours.
13 hours later.
Yes.
Wow. So if it's
in
7
China,
o'clock in the morning here, it's 8 p.m. there.
Yes.
Okay, well, that limits us a little bit. But you know what? We make it work. Where there's a will, there's a way. But at least now you don't have to come into New York to see me. I come to you. So it was a pleasure speaking to you, and I appreciate it. And anything, if you think of anything or you get anybody with asking questions, pass them along.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
OK， 感谢我们的大师 Bob Marks 给我们这么多这么有用的一些唱歌的资讯，还有一些唱歌的秘诀。那么就像他刚刚说，如果你想要和 Bob Marks 学唱歌，你可以去他的网站上面，或是他的 Facebook， 或是写 email 给他，你都可以去联系到他。然后最后呢，记得如果你对于唱歌的这个表演啊，或者是你想要未来去参加百老汇这一类的，你可以记得一定要去 购买，去看他的书，叫做 Bob Marks 88 Keys to Successful Singing Performances。OK， 好，感谢各位，就在这边，对，就在他的后面哈，就在这个地方，然后我们也会摆在这个地方，连结也会放在下面。感谢大师来我们频道分享他这么宝贵的30多年的这个经验。那最后呢，如果你喜欢我们这一集的影片的话，记得帮我订阅、按赞、分享，并且开启小铃铛哦。